Well, good morning. It is finally Friday, and if this is your first time with us, we are all about your challenges and facing challenges together. We all have them, and who would not agree? Facing challenges for the last year has been all about your entire week wrapped up into what we call finally Friday. And if this is your first time hearing us, welcome to everyone. Finally Friday is challenging you to think about your challenges during the week and how you overcame them. It doesn't take just a whole year of 2020 or 2025 to say, look, I've been struggling. Sometimes it's all in a day. So bi-weekly, whether you're at home, work, I won't say school, but in your private listening, we're discussing the things that may have challenged you. I am host of Vibetalkfacingthelion podcast and Healing Center. My name is Nisi Robinson, and with me I have my beautiful and amazing co-host. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Trish, and I'm the co-host of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
And here's what we do on Facing Our Challenges. You get to come in and you get to tell us, what did you face? How did you overcome it? What was the result? And did you overcome it? From learning to drive to learning to manage time, dealing with family, dealing with school, dealing with work pressure. Finally, Friday is your interactive Friday. We get a new look, but don't be frightened by that. It's the same vibe, the same tone. We felt like letting you see the lions come out helps you to get yourself involved where you understand that our podcast is about bravery, courage, determination, willpower, willingness, integrity, being aware that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what you're faced with, you can face it. Why did we choose to do it this way this year? Because we felt for the last 6 years, you saw us, you heard about us, you may even have listened to the podcast, but now by you seeing a visual, you'll never forget the visual. So don't be taken by surprise. Just understand that Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast and Healing Center is all about your feelings, your emotions, and how we connect to correct ourselves. Because we must begin with us. I don't know about you, but I have faced this week twisting my ankle, which was a bit of a setback. But I took a positive so that I can turn the pain and literal pain into something positive. I was able to finish and work on what our 226 is going to look like visually. How am I doing? I feel much better. Trish, what challenges did you face this week, if any?
A challenge that I faced this week was, I would say, job searching. I'm still looking, but a positive side to that challenge is I can always keep trying. I'm still living, and every day that I live, I can keep trying, and uh, I'm still gonna keep going. So that was the challenge I was facing, and sometimes it can get discouraging, but at the same time, there's there's hope. Regardless, there's always options. So that's the challenge I faced this week.
And so, what we want you to understand, thank you for that, Trish, is that along with us, we'll talk about how we face it. What are opportunities? What is direction? What is our goal? Because, we can get discouraged, but what are you going to do when you're faced with challenges? And by calling into our lines, you get to see firsthand how people deal with common challenges. If any of you are out there and you're looking for a job, what are some solutions that you can do? If you've had some kind of injury or an emergency or accident, what are you resolved to do? And we want you to be able to think about how we are focusing, how we focus. When we think about facing challenges, it's more than just a resolution. It's what do we do to face the challenge? Sometimes we don't see things that come in our way. Has that not been true? Our Finally Friday has been doing for the last. Good morning, Brianna. Good morning. And thank you for being here. Good morning. And our lines are open. What are some challenges that you have faced this week? And how did you overcome it, or did you? And welcome to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We have such a great support system, and we want to talk about some things that we've looked at with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, Finally Friday. What are some things that we've discussed? And Trish has really put this together so nicely that we can just click right on it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we can go right to our YouTube and we can touch on it, our playlist. I think it's important that we look at this. You're going to keep that question in your mind. Keeping calm. Keeping calm while staying cool. Do you remember that, Trish?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And then we had others. Challenging your brain. Challenging victim and survival mode. We have done that. Sorry, guys. Doubting yourself. The challenge of Doubting yourself. How did you face that? How do you add humor into your life with laughter or just challenging yourself, not taking yourself so seriously? Challenge yourself with knowledge that you know and that you can add to what you already know. How many of you have already been doing that? Adding to yourself the knowledge that you've already learned. Because we never stop learning. Challenging ourselves with advice, given or taken. How about this one? Knowing your struggles. Has that been a challenge for any of you to be aware of what it is and to identify with what you really are being challenged with? How about challenging yourself to be more kind? Thank you for those hearts. And we have Brianna on with us. Um, Trish, Brianna is on with us.
Good morning, Brianna. Nice to see you.
How about this one, the butterfly effect? How many of you remember that? We learned about comforting ourselves. How many of you actually comfort yourself or know how to do that? I mean, some of us, we do know how to do that, but I mean in a way that is most healthiest for you. Is that a challenge for you? To comfort yourself, to be able to say, I need comfort. She says, what is our call-in number?
Our calling number is 1-888-721-9260.
Just call in. You can call in. Thank you so much. What are some other things we learned? Brianna says she comforts herself sometimes better than others. What do? To comfort yourself? Because there's a lot of lonely people out there. And sometimes we unhear their tears. We unsee their tears. And if we don't see their tears and we don't feel the pain that they feel, how do we know how to help them? To challenge. Brianna, Trish, are you putting everything in the chat?
Yes, it's in our information at the top, but I can put the number in.
Yes, she needs you to put the number in. Speaking up. How many of you have a challenge speaking up? Anybody? I don't. But there are some who do. Facing our challenges. You are all getting the opportunity to find out what we've been up to. And when you go here, you're going to find out that everything is labeled. Rising above situations. You're very welcome. Healing. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm calling good.
How are you? We have Brianna is here with us. Brianna, thank you this morning for joining us. You have something that you'd like to say? you may.
Yes, so I have been, I just got off of therapy, so that was very beneficial for me. I've been definitely dealing with challenges in life, just in general, like being a human and having to be, alive and have responsibilities and be accountable for, myself and for my kids and so it's been a challenging, we just went through the holidays, so it's been a challenge, but it's also been the most beautiful experience and beautiful challenge that I have encompassed on.
Mhm.
um, and so, you had said something about the butterfly effect, and when I used to come here a whole lot, I remember the struggle, strength, and
Mhm.
that has and this too shall pass. That is something that has really stuck with me throughout the years. I can hear you saying it.
Mhm.
Um, and I called this number, and I just want to just celebrate you for a moment because this is so cool. I want to know how to do that. You know what I mean? Calling the number and having the ability to be able to do this and in real time is so beneficial for people who are struggling with anything, mental health, toxic relationships, addiction, recovery, things, of all, types of packages.
Mhm.
And, I really appreciate this space and being able to have this kind of support be here. So thank you.
You're so very welcome. Trish, is there anything that you'd like to add?
It's so amazing to hear your voice again. It's been a while since all three of us been on call. so so
Yeah.
it's amazing hearing your voice again, and I can hear the growth through you.
Mhm.
It's a very emotional when you hear somebody's accomplishments. You hear how they grow, like you can hear it in their voice, and I'm so happy to have you here. And guys, as you can see, our direct connect, it's open, and you can call in. So that's what I have to say.
Yes, you can. And
Yes,
and
it is.
go ahead, bring on. I'm sorry.
No, I was just celebrating you. This is so cool. You guys have come such a long way, and I just celebrate you, Trish. I remember, I just, and you coming in and just being able to step up and really take control of that, and the growth that you have gone through. Like you're saying, you can hear it in somebody's voice.
Mhm.
There's this has been years. You know what I mean? Been doing this for years. So it's just amazing to be able to see and connect, and then still be able to have Vibe Talk be a place that is still available outside of the constructs of the system and all the things. So it's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Brianna, I want you to be able to tell the people about your healing spaces and what you're now doing. I think it's a very integral part of your journey. Would you like to take the time to tell the people?
Sure, I would love that, and I feel honored to be able to express my involvement and my growth. Um, my name's Brianna, and I am now the owner of Soul to Soul Life Coaching and Somatic Healing LLC, and I am located in Allenville, New York. A few years ago, I had a spiritual awakening, and I got involved in classes and schooling to be a life coach, a soul purpose life coach. And what I do is I have created a relationship um, between me, myself, and I, and the external world as a um, as not myself, but as another being, so to speak. And I have come a long way. I've grown a lot. And what I create now, what I have created, is a safe space, like a home away from home, a sanctuary. I call it Soul to Soul Sanctuary, and it's a place where anybody can come to heal holistically. We have I do meditations, sister circle events. I have a modality called ecstatic pole embodiment, which is the art of pole and embodiment, and being able to help with self-esteem and confidence and healing trauma around sexual trauma and things like that. I'm also trauma informed, and I help people work through their traumas, understanding their fight, flight, and freeze responses, and learning different ways to cope, and having tools to use, like breath work, tapping, even just embodiment, just freely dancing, is things that I incorporate in what I do and in the space that I hold. I found Vibe Talk, I want to say like five years ago now. My time is really off. I know
it's been 5 years.
It's been a while,
we're going
5
on
or 6 years.
6 years. Go ahead, Rihanna. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So no, that's great. I came from doing mirror talk, on myself and having a life coach myself, and then getting involved in the schooling to understand how to then hold the space for the other people to figure out what they want to do, in life. And let's see, I am still growing. I think that's what people tend to forget to mention. Like, I am also human. Yes, I'm a business owner. Yes, I have schooling. Yes, I am certified in all of these things, but I'm also human. And I'm also healing beside you. I don't have it all figured out. Half the time I am, going with my intuition and my gut on what the next steps are, and I really have formed a deep relationship with myself through understanding my nervous system somatically and being able to change the way that I think and that I view myself through these different spaces and environments like Vibe Talk. This was my platform where I even felt I was doing what Trisha's doing right now, and that felt in my heart, and I can feel it in my heart still, that gave me so much, and I'll cry right now. That gave me so much confidence in myself, and it challenged the way that I spoke, and how, that's where my professionalism started, you know what I mean? And so when you think back on your challenges or things that you have gone through, or the traumas, or the things that you've seen, or things that have been done to you, or things that you even did to yourself, everything for me, in my own perspective and the way that I look at my life, is I was meant to be in every single place, with every single person, and every single experience, only I would be here. Yeah. And to be able to, express who I am, express my growth, express my evolvement, with other people who are just trying to figure it out too, because I'm still just trying to figure it out too. So I do one-on-one sessions, I do group sessions, I'm starting Zoom classes, Zoom workshops. I am available through Zoom as well. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I have the website. My website is soul2soulcoach.org, and that's the number 2, soulcoach.org. And then if you just put my name in front of that, It's Brianna at soultosoulcoach.org, and that's my email. So if anybody wants to get in contact with me, I'm open to it all. So I appreciate you for giving me this time to express that. Thank you.
Here's you're welcome. Here's why we're giving you this platform. Because you came from a place of pain. You came from a place of pain. You started your healing journey. Sometimes people say they're okay. Sometimes people say, they're ready. What you did through your life's journey, you took from here things that you learned and you started to apply them to yourself. For instance, you're being able to say that you're okay. You're being able to be aware to connection to your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to be wild. It's okay to just have fun and just be the best person you can be. You found a way of how to discover and connect with your raw emotions. And that's why we have what we do.
Yeah.
Now, this is our place of... Yeah. Go ahead, Brianna. And welcome to our show, Angela. Welcome. Go ahead, Brianna. Go ahead, baby.
Miss Angela. Yes, so having this safe space, whether that be physically in the 3D and you can touch it as like my sanctuary soul to soul, or having it through the ethers, through the phone, through Facebook, and just knowing that these spaces exist is life changing. It's universally changing things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I can see that. I can see that.
And so, Trish, do you have anything to add with that? You just jump right in, Trish, if you do, okay? Hearing a voice is very important. And I believe in that. I believe in giving each person a chance to be able to discover them at their best selves. And being that I came from a place of pain, I understand the discovery and the connection. If you are not connecting with yourself to yourself, you are not in a healing space. Come a little closer, because I want everyone to hear this. If you are not connecting with yourself or to yourself, you are not in a healing space. You know what my mission is? To make sure that you discover your own path to being able to get there, because no one can tell you to be the best you that you can be. But I teach you how to be and how to discover it through workshops for both men and women as well as children. Because it's one thing to go out there and try to teach someone, and Brianna, I'm going to celebrate you with this. It's one thing to go out there and teach others, and you're not connected to yourself. Everybody that's on TV, everybody that has a podcast may not be connected to themselves. But here's what happens in Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Your facing the lions can be very overwhelming, so overwhelming that your life is now in jeopardy, and some people have taken their own lives because they just didn't feel connected. So through our work and through our art classes and our workshop, that's what we teach, connection. Because that's what you said to someone in answer to their question, how are you? How many times have you said, I don't know? Or evaded the question because your emotions are all over the place. Anybody had that experience?
I have.
I mean, I've definitely had that experience, and also an experience of, are you really? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Now,
yeah.
Trish, what about yourself?
Yes, I've had that experience before, and sometimes when I choose how I
Listen,
answer,
have you?
and sometimes when I choose what I answer, it depends on the way that I view the person in front of me. If I think it's a burden or not, then I would just say, I'm fine, I'm okay, and which I'm not. And I want to keep this persona that I'm an optimistic person, but in reality, I'm not doing fine. So I've been there before.
The reason why I'm asking that question is I'm asking that question because we are challenged by our mere emotion. What would it be like if everybody could answer how they really felt? Suppose you woke up scared. What would it feel like for you to say, I feel afraid? I feel sad. It's so much easier to say, I'm fine. Because why? There's no challenges with I'm fine. You don't have to go into detail.
Well, you don't have to go. You don't have to go in there. You don't have to go in there if somebody doesn't cry, not cry, but if somebody doesn't ask and you don't respond in a true, authentic way, then you don't have to respond and get into those feels of why you're sad or why you're angry or why you're overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Because that would then bring up crying and vulnerability and emotion that, you know,
Absolutely.
Being just bad for somebody to be. Like, we don't say it's okay to be angry. No, we say, oh, you can't be angry. You have to, or we can't say you can cry. It's like, you know, suck it up. You got this. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, does everyone agree with that? Because I sure do. Yeah. You know, we evaded, and that's what I used to do. I would, when somebody would ask me how I was doing, I would ignore it until one day, and I think I've told you guys about this experience, Trish and Brianna, and the guy, a friend of mine, he stopped me, and he stopped me from doing that. This is long before I became a certified life coach and a counselor. And he said, every time I ask you how you're doing, you answer that with a question that's not related to what I said. I want to know how you're really doing. I thought about that. And I thought about, why am I so fearful to tell someone how I really am doing? And I began to think, well, it could be because I feel like nobody cares. But the person is showing you that they really care. Now, if you ask a person this, how are they doing? Don't look at your watch. Look directly at them, because you're going to give them a sense of interest. And if you do that genuinely, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start helping that person to open up. What does Angela's comment say? Can you read it for us, Trish?
Yes, I can. Her comment says,
And
yes.
Angela, thank you for joining us.
Her comment says, yes, I always said I'm fine and I never was okay. I'm very early in my healing journey.
And we didn't hear you. Her comment. Can you read it, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, she just put in a comment. We want to
Okay.
include her in the discussion.
Okay. Her comment says, yes, I always said I'm fine and I never was okay. I am very early in my healing journey.
Love it. Love it. You are very welcome. She says, thank you for having me. And this is what happens. You know, how many of you have ever went to a mechanic because your leg hurt? Anybody? Where do you go if your car is broken? To the doctor? Where do you go? Anybody had car trouble? Brianna, you've had car trouble.
I've had to change my tires like
Where do you go?
8,000 times this year.
Okay, so
I go to the mechanic.
okay,
I go to somebody who knows about it.
right. So what's the? Why am I asking that question? I'm asking that question, ladies and gentlemen, because we go where we get help, right? We go where we can connect the dots. You're not gonna go to a medical doctor for your car. You say, I'm gonna take it to a mechanic. Same as your pain. Right now, individually, we all have pain somewhere. Whether you can see it or whether it is seen, we all understand pain. Do we ignore it? Or do we say, I need to heal this pain? You know, because some of us like to walk around and say, well, I'm just going to slap a Band-Aid on it. And I use that because we understand from childhood what that is like to have a Band-Aid, right? We all get it. You know, mom, dad puts a Band-Aid on us or whoever's there taking care of us at the time. But if we don't properly take care of the healing of the injury, it may not well itself. We've got to take some aftercare. So with our own hearts, some of us have experienced broken hearts. No doctor can tell us you got 6 weeks until it heals. Some of us have had the wind literally knocked out of us with life's cyclones, right? Can anybody identify with that? We've had that happen. And then all of a sudden, it starts to well itself. Because why? Because our heart, and this is so amazing to me, our heart has a mechanism of defense to be able to heal in time. Angela says it's very deep for me. I've been browbeat. Do you mean browbeat? For over 52 years. I get that. When all you've ever been told is the negative. Going back to the Band-Aid theory, and I've used this before, when we go to that Band-Aid theory, a Band-Aid is supposed to heal us, right? And we know that we have an injury because every time somebody sees you, they're going to ask you what? What happened, right? And you're going to retell that story over and over and over again. From the time you are 6 to the time you are 52. But what if we never take, Band-Aid it. I like that. Thank you for that. Yeah, Band-Aid it. And we get to the real source of the healing, where you're able to say, I'm hurting. Trish and Brianna, you are living proof. And I celebrate you today for the words that you found hard to say. I have cried with the two of you for using the words, I'm hurting. How many of you remember? And thank you, Angela, because you just made a recognition that you have been band-aided. It's like covering over without really healing, getting down to the core of the injury. So you're living proof, the two of you are living proof that you got down to the core. And I'm so very proud of the both of you. Back to the Band-Aid theory just for a moment. Why am I bringing that up? Because this is a place to heal. Everything must heal in its own time. There are scars, and Angela, can I use you just for a moment? Because 52 years, that's a long time. It's a very long time. And whatever your hurt has been, you've walked around with an open wound, even though it was covered. Even though it was covered. So you sought help through Brianna's Soul to Soul, where you can now get some direction on what is hurting me. Because everybody can't tell you what's hurting them. Do you remember your experience, Brianna, with me? The first time, you remember when we did the mirror?
Yep.
That was very...
I love telling that story. It was, and that's why I brought it up before, because it was, it seemed like it was going to be so easy. And then I did it, and it was like the third time I actually looked in my eyes and looked at my face. And it was to tell myself that what I loved about myself. It felt so foreign, and I just started to cry.
She made me cry. Yeah. Go ahead, Brianna, tell your story.
Well, and then I realized from that moment, it was when was the first time that I ever felt that kind of love towards myself, or that attention, that direct attention towards myself. And I can go back in my childhood, and I don't ever feel like that I got that. You know what I mean? From parents, or I always felt like not good enough. You know what I mean? That's my story. You know what I mean? And so it was hard for me to look at myself, and that's why now I teach that. I have mirrors all over my sanctuary in the pole space, because when women look at themselves or look at their bodies, they can't. They actually look down or turn their head, and I've been able to experience women be able to look, even just to look at one another in the eye, because it's when you look at yourself in the mirror in the eye, that's when things can shift for you.
Yes.
So that's my story.
Angela says that. Trish, you want to go ahead and read that? What she's saying?
Yes. She says, yes, I was abused since I was 9, physically and mentally abused. Some scars are deeper than others. I do feel safe with Bree.
Okay, and she's identified. She's able to identify with you. Thank you, Trish. So challenge us. Why do we have Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast and Healing Center? Because we know that you're challenged with your emotions. We understand that it's not the easiest to get out. Those of us who are taking classes, those of us who have been certified, licensed, and whatever else comes with that, please pay attention. Take notes, because you're going to be able to save someone, to help someone. And that's been our whole 6 years. We've got people from, can you name some? Because I'm so overwhelmed right now, Trish. The areas.
Oh, we've had the United Emirates, we had Poland, we had Germany, Australia. We've been around the world basically.
Just by the click of a button, and people are still coming. We are so proud that we have another door that is literally open for us. We are now opening our second part of the healing center, which is going to be our relaxation center. There is where you will feel every bit of vibing of how to relax through music, how to relax through sound, the ambience of the room. That's being worked on as we speak. So when you're out there and when you are helping a person to heal, first thing that I say, heal yourself first, because you cannot pour out what you don't have. Pour into yourselves when you're taking such classes as Brianna's talking about, I'm talking about, and know that before you take on that responsibility that you are healed, because you know what's going to happen? Eventually, if you're not well enough to feed yourself, someone's going to pick up on it. It's very important to stay connected. Be connected so that you can help others. We talk about real emotions with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. There's no way you can take a workshop, a session with me without feeling raw emotions. And I mean, people are, it is remarkable what has happened within the last 6 years. Remember, guys, girls, when we used to do it like a class setting? You guys all remember that?
Yes.
Because if you don't, I'm going to help you remember that time when I fell and hurt myself on the toy. And you all say, what is happening?
I remember that.
Remember that?
I remember that.
I hurt myself, but I'm fine. But look at how far.
You've come a long way.
And what is it?
You've come a long way, and it's
Go ahead, baby. You're speaking. Go ahead.
I said you've come a long way. This is the evolvement of you and of your dream and your purpose, and it's so amazing to be able to have experienced it at such like a like where I'm at. Like it, my thing is a newborn baby.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If we can go into human years, I'm only 8 months old. You're 6 years old, so there's a lot of things that have been cooking. You know what I mean, for a while, and it's like, so it's amazing to see the growth and just as because healing doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, either, and things aren't built overnight. It takes time, and it takes aligned action and divine choices that lead us to where we are, and there's always got to be a starting point, and it's I think that it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to witness and have you as my life coach once before, and then to work with you to create build the foundations of this, and then to have gone and flown on my own to come back and say, hey, look, like You know what I mean? It did
Yes, it's beautiful.
and we're doing it,
And
so magical.
And you know, here's the thing to all of you gals that are here, all of you women, because you are that. Your pain, listen to me very carefully. Your pain that you have had to endure, however it is, you're going to be able to, and I know you guys have heard this before, you're going to be able to take that pain and turn it around to help somebody else. You ever heard of passing the torch? You're going to pass the torch of your pain, because once you get through your healing or start or begin it, you're going to be able to pass it, and you're going to say, this is what my pain has done for me. It made me strong. It made me feel like I was broken. It made me resilient. It made me fight for life. It made me fight for my children. The list goes on and on and on. But I want you to know that your pain is with purpose. And I say that in the most delicate way, but yet with firmness, because it is your choice what you're going to do about that pain. The fact that you are seeking the help, Angela, you're saying you're seeking the help, 52 years, you had to go through the pain, you found a safety net with Brianna. That's a beginning. Celebrate your win of finding purpose in your pain. Does that make sense to you, Angela? Finding purpose in your pain. You see, it's not about keeping secrets. It's not about who does it better. It's about, can it be done? You've been able to answer that, Brianna. Trish, you've been able to answer that through your testimony. And that's where we want you to be, where you can say, yes, I have pain, but my story is going to help someone else's story. You've got to release yourself. How many of you remember the closed fist example? Because we're going to show Angela how to do that today.
I do.
You guys remember that? Trish, do you remember it?
Yes, I do.
Who remembers that?
I do something similar in my practice, and I don't know if it's the same or along the lines of the same thing.
Trish, do you remember it?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain to us what that was about, if you can remember? If not, I'll take it over.
I can explain it.
Okay.
So
You're going to teach us, because Angela did.
okay. So the fist exercise is basically holding your fist, hold your hand out, and then you squeeze as hard as you can.
You
And
close
you
your hand and you squeeze.
yes.
Hold your hand up like a fist. Angela, all of you women here, go ahead.
And as you're squeezing, basically you're feeling how hard you're squeezing. You're feeling how much it hurts, and then you let go and you see how that also makes you feel. You feel that relief.
And don't let go until it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
What is the purpose of that? That you feel your pain, and when you think about your physical pain, through that physical pain of releasing what hurts, because you say, ouch, that really hurt. If I asked you, how did that feel? And then I say to you, that's the emotional pain that you've been carrying around. Can you imagine that? That you're carrying that around so heavily. You know, just because we don't see emotional pain does not mean we don't feel it. I have, and I'm sure that you all can agree with me, Trish, um, Brianna, when you're working with people, when you're talking to people, when they open their mouth to tell you, ouch, that really hurts. It's on such a deep level. You're able to identify on Fridays and throughout the week with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast and Healing Center. Where does it hurt? What pain have you been challenged with? How has it affected you? When do you comfort yourself? You know, because some of us didn't have mommies and daddies to run to. We may have had guardians that took care of us somewhat. And then there's the other side of that. Maybe we didn't have parents that were emotionally ready to handle our pain because they didn't deal with their pain. Can you imagine having a child and your child gets hurt and that child is screaming, help me, help me, help me. And you don't know what to do because nobody ever heard your cries. That is what we're being faced with today. It is a real challenge. And that's why, and I've said this, Brianna, you've heard me say this, Trish, you've heard me say this, I love Finally Fridays because you are able to understand your pain. And a lot of times the pain that you're feeling, it goes back to that child. Because you might be upset about something else. If you don't treat the pain, guys, if you don't treat it and you're always bandaging, you're always slapping the Band-Aid on, it's not healed. It's just covered up. You know, when we were kids, and I love this analogy because you guys have heard it so much. We run, we get a Band-Aid. We were kids. Don't let it be a character Band-Aid because I put it everywhere. And sometimes I put the Band-Aid on just because it was like an artificial injury because I just wanted to wear the Band-Aid. Are we like that? But Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast for the last 6 years have uncovered so much pain. Mine, yours, and theirs. What does Angela's comment read? Trish, what does your comments read?
Okay, her comment reads, I really need a one-on-one. This is very emotional for me right now, yet I am choosing to fight for my life. Yes, it does hurt. I do not like band-aiding anymore.
Yeah. And that's the beginning of your healing. That right there. Brianna, I'm going to go back to Brianna because you're you're familiar with Brianna, and I don't want to step into what you guys are working with. Brianna, are
Yes, ma'am.
you remember when there was something I was gonna say? Bear with me. Do you remember the first day of your call to me?
Yes, I do.
There was something that you said that really almost broke my heart. Do you remember what it was? Because I want to show
Yes,
something.
it was, I believe, 'cause it's been a while.
The very first day.
That I wanted to heal.
Yes!
Yes.
Why did that almost break my heart? To this day, I think about that. And I use Brianna as that because she said something. Anybody caught it? What did she want to do? Anybody can answer that.
Heal.
She wanted to heal. That's a challenge.
You know, it's interesting because
Go ahead, baby.
yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. It's interesting that you bring that up because, you know, like I have really shifted in my experience in my life, and I still want to heal, you know, and I got off of therapy and I was like, I'm going to go on my own live, because I'm feeling this way and people should know that it's okay to feel this way, even if you're like, you kind of like think like you got it all together, you know what I mean? And I saw that you were on live, and I was just like, I'm going in there, you know what I mean? Like, I still to this day, even after all the work that I've done, you're never, like for me, in my experience, I will never be fully healed.
Yeah.
But I am always healing, you know, and that is the same reason why I showed up the first day was the same reason why I showed up today. And because I want to heal, and I don't want to feel alone in these moments of, you know, disconnection. You know what I mean? And that's why I was saying earlier, like, I'm just so happy that this place still exists.
You know, and we thank you for that.
Want to heal. There are people who want to heal, yeah.
Here's what I like, too. I love the fact that, Angela, you know, like the thing that we talked about, resonating, you know, you resonate with that, you can relate. I love something that she did as well. She made it a point to tell me that she was comfortable with you, Bree. She was safe. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's important in your healing.
Yeah.
That is so important in your healing, to allow yourself a safety net. If you're not safe with someone,
it doesn't work.
It's yes. It's going to be very challenging. I won't say that you won't do it, but you got to feel that comfort. You've got to feel that connection. You see me using the word connection again? Connection is so very important, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you all to understand it and take it for what it's worth, to feel connected. And it's okay. What did we say, guys? When you guys were with me when I first started, I said that there would be revolving doors. And I said some of you would go, but some of you still come back. Some of you DM me. Some of you say hi to me. Some of you ask me things. Brianna is doing what she told me, also what she wanted to do. She said she wanted to do what I was doing. She's made it into her own thing, and that's okay. For you who are wondering, is she really giving all her secrets away? No. This is about healing. This is about helping. This is about networking for people that are really out there, that are like Angela, that have had 52 years of pain and Band-Aids, and they haven't found the right niche Find your niche. And we're going to keep talking until you do find it. Um,
I shared my I shared your live on my Facebook.
I appreciate it.
So,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Or,
Are you finished? I'm sorry. I'm talking over you.
no, you're good. I'm finished. I was just, I want to be able to share this platform, as well for other people. There's so many, there's so many different tools that that are available to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to have this, and for my people to know about it. You know what I mean? When,
Yes, helping each other. For sure.
There.
For sure.
Yeah, totally.
It's a networking so that people can get the help. I promised myself when I took this on, first, I learned about it. Second, I needed to heal. Third, I said once I know about this, my goal was if people felt like for that day, that moment, that instant, that they wanted to end it all, maybe my podcast could help them some way, somehow. We're going to be right back. But before we leave, I want to read Angela's comment. For the first moment I met her, Brianna, I have seen many peoples in the past 15 years. Never ever did I have a soul connection. And that's important. You got to have that. She says, thank you. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Trisha's Treasures. We're going to come right back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Now it's time for Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I read an article about a guy who survived a polar bear attack. And it was very interesting to me because he described his last thoughts and his feelings in that situation as a survivor. He was wondering, is he going to live? Is he going to get through this? And he described as he's feeling his bones cracking, his jaw, he's in the bear's mouth, his face is in the bear's mouth. He's wondering, is he going to survive? And then his group of friends, they sent a flare. They let a flare out, and it scared the bear. And the guy, he wasn't expecting to live. And when he woke up, he was in disbelief that he was alive. And as we were doing this podcast, I thought about that, and it really makes me think about how when we are facing a big challenge and it feels like this challenge has us in its mouth, it has us gripped and we can't get out of it. How am I going to do this alone? Can I do this alone? Should I just give up? And then the help happens. The help is there, and sometimes it's hard to accept help. It's hard to admit that you need help, and it becomes to a point where it's too late. We're already at our wits' end, and it's too much for us. So I just want to encourage everyone to get the help and think about admitting to yourself that, hey, it's time. It's time for me to heal. It's about that time for me to address myself. It's about that time for me to look in the mirror and embrace that reflection that I see every day when I wake up in the morning to get ready for work, to go to school, to start my day before I have my morning coffee. And it's important to have support as well, but that mindset of I want to live, I want to try, I want to keep going. And that can make someone reach for the ceiling. It can make them go as far as the eye can see. And I encourage everyone here today, if you're listening later on, a year from now, and before you go to bed, to embrace yourself. Give yourself grace and understand, get the knowledge of yourself. And it's okay to ask for help in your challenges and continue to heal. That's it.
You want more of Trisha's treasures? Go find her on our YouTube page by the same name, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And Angela says, Trish, I appreciate your word. Did you hear that, Trish?
Yes, thank you very much.
And so that is our finally Friday. You can go to YouTube. You can see our page is set up that way where if you just want to listen to people's challenges, and thank you for the bear story. Those are real stories, okay? And I always include a real life story to help you to understand that someone, somewhere, somehow is feeling the challenge of pain. The important part is to heal it. She says thank you, and she's so happy you're here, and for the words of encouragement, embrace yourself, give yourself grace. That is from Brianna. Brianna, thank you so much. She says, love always to all of you. We love to hear from Brianna. Brianna is, and Trish is, a success story. Oh boy. Trish, here's what I'd like you guys to do. If you get a chance, can you please go to my page, rate that page by giving a small testimony. It doesn't have to be anything outlandish. Make it truthful, whatever's comfortable. I think, Trish, you've already done one. But you guys are testimonies to this Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And for you naysayers out there and for all the haters out there, I don't live in a world where I'm not going to share something with you, especially when I know that you're taking the time to do the healing. I always say, if you're not willing to work on the healing, it would be a waste of your time as well as my time. Did I not tell you and Brianna that, Trish?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So if you really don't want to work on yourself, I'm probably not the person to see, because I'm speaking from experience. What I bring to you are my stories. Always remember that. We thank you guys. We're in support of each other. You know, this is not, oh, my client went off and she said she wanted to do, thank you for the beautiful hearts. She said she wanted to be a life coach. I'm so glad she got to that point. I've cried a lot of sessions with Brianna. And I've cried a lot of sessions with Brianna because Brianna mirrored me in a lot of things. And she knows what I'm talking about. And it took Brianna a very long time to realize what had happened to her. Did I know it right off? No, but one day Brianna was talking to me, and it was like staring myself. Do you remember that, Brianna?
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that was hard for me. That was hard for me until Brianna one day just came out and said it. And I'm going, Nisi, that's you. Beautiful heart she has. Beautiful heart. And she's got this freeness about her. Had she not committed to healing, committed to the challenges of healing, guess what? She couldn't have gotten there to help people like Angela. And I'm so glad that I was able to help. And to see Trish.
I'm so glad that
Go ahead,
you guys
babe.
were here so that she could come in.
Yeah, thank you.
I was glad that she was,
Thank you for bringing her. No, and you see, Angela, that we read all your comments. There's no competition here. I'm not like that. I want people to help each other. And you may be able to, at one point, help somebody. Your pain is your purpose. Remember that. I want to thank my amazing co-host, Trish. Thank you so much. Brianna, who's returned to us as a life coach and has come to us and talked about the challenges of healing and the feeling alone. And that's a point too. When you're feeling alone, oh my goodness, reach out. Reach out. We don't want to leave you untouched. We want you to be affected by the things that you're learning. When you're life coaching, make sure that you're staying in connection with the people that you're servicing, because it is lonely and it's like being in a dark tunnel trying to find the pieces to yourself. Some days looks uglier than others, while some days are great. You're full of joy and sunshine until you can find your balance. Don't be afraid, please, to reach out. Please, 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 please. Angela says, thank you so much for all of you. Yes, I will one day. And bless you all. We accept. Do you, whoever is listening out there in the cyber world, accept the challenge of healing yourself? This is what our Finally Friday challenges look like. So now you know. What's your word, Brianna? I love this. This is my favorite saying of yours. When you know, and you cannot know that shit. I love her saying. Does that make sense to you, Trish?
Yes, it does.
It makes so much sense. When you know, you know. and that we were even thinking about making sayings, because Brianna came up with the funniest stuff and the cutest little sayings, and I thought, that's really cute. But when you know, you know, and that's just it. Knowing yourself is better than knowing anyone else. Because we spend so much time getting to know other people and wanting to connect to them and have this intimacy. But first, it begins with us. With that being said, don't forget, I have a radio show, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday evenings, 9 o'clock California time. And it's all about smooth and chill music. And at 11:30, today, we're going to do a group session that you can walk in on. You also can be online for that too. We set it up in our office, in my office, so that you all can be online. And if you miss it for any reason, it's going to be recorded. Okay? That starts at 11 o'clock, and that's called In Session, where we really get into feelings. And you never know what we're talking about. So let everybody know. And don't forget, Brianna's life coaching is Soul, SOUL, the number 2, and then SOUL. Don't forget. We'll see you next time. And please challenge yourself to accept the challenge of whatever that might be. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time on Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.